Let's use some simple shapes, geometric and freeform shapes, to draw a spooky or haunted house. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a line right about here. There we go. So now we have a yard for our house. I'm going to draw my house up here in this area. So step number one, I'm going to go from that line that I just drew, and I'm going to do a line straight up like that, then across, and then right back down. So that'll be the main entrance of my haunted house. So I want a really fun door like that, the same way. Okay, now you get to decide how much detail you put into this door and what kind of door you want. So I've got a little knob for my door and make it kind of a fancy one. And I'm just using my white oil pastel. You could also use a white crayon for this lesson. And I want my door to look kind of fancy. So I'm going to put some windows, panels, using rectangles. There we go. Right? And on either side, use some nice long rectangle windows. Nice. Let's do a second story to our floor, like that. And I'll put some windows up here. And I want my house to be kind of spooky looking. So I'm going to put two little lines that are going down like this. I'm going to make it look like the windows are eyes, the eyes of the house. It's looking at you, peeking out. Okay. Let's see. Let's do top. That is just a upside down letter V, and it made a triangle, you can see. And we'll definitely put an attic window up there. Who doesn't love a spooky attic window? And I think I'll put a spider web in my attic window. So a little dot there and lines coming out from the dot is how you start a spider web. Kind of looks like a starburst to start. And then you just do lines across like that. And now it's like a spider web in the window type of thing. You can add detail by doubling your lines. It's a little trick like that. And I want to add some more rooms on either side. So to add more rooms to my spooky house, I do not need to make another line going up like this because the houses share walls. So I don't need to draw this line. I just need to draw a line that goes over. So I'm going to draw a line that goes over and down. And now I have another little section of my house. I can put a roof on it. Do a double line for fanciness. And you can add whatever you want to this. You can add a second door. You can add a big window. I think I'm going to add a window and put a little pumpkin in the window looking out. A little pumpkin. There we go. Just kind of hanging out there. And I think I'm going to do another line and some more windows. This window, I think I'm going to put a little ghost in. It's a little ghost saying hi. It's spooky in there. And definitely an attic window. And I think for that one, I'm just going to have a little pumpkin in that one too. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on this side with a line straight across, because remember, you don't need to draw another line. Houses share walls. So you just need to go straight across and down like that. And for this one, I think I'm going to put on top of the house like a little fence, so you can like go walk out there. I'm going to put little triangles on top of lines for a fence, like a little iron fence that you might see, and then connect it with a line like that. And You could go stand up there if you wanted to, like look out over whatever you wanted to look at. I'm going to make some more windows here. I'm going to do a nice big arched window right there and put some scary people looking out, some scary little faces looking out. I'm trying to make it spooky. There we go. Maybe they're peeking out and looking at you. And I think I'll do a second door right here. Maybe this is another way you can get into the house. There we go. So now I got my spooky looking house. You can add any details you want. But I want to talk to you about something called a horizon line. And a horizon line is where the sky and the ground meet. And it's far away from what you're looking at. So sometimes kids would think, well, this is the ground here and this is the sky. But if your house was sitting on the ground, you would see more land behind it. So we're going to put a line here, and when I get to my house, I'm going to stop and hop all the way over it and continue. So now I have more land back here, and I could maybe put a scary cemetery maybe back here on this side. I'm going to put rest in peace. Put some headstones. And the ones that are closer have to be bigger, and the ones that get closer to the horizon line, well, they get smaller because they're further away. And so that's how an artist can show space in art. Something that's closer towards the bottom of the page larger, and then as it gets up towards that horizon line, it's more in the background and smaller. So that's kind of a fun secret little way you can do that. Over here, I think I'm going to do a nice big tree. And I had a teacher tell me a long time ago, when you're doing a tree, think of the letter Y, the letter Y, and continue to add more letter Y's to your tree. So a branch would be another letter Y, and another letter Y. Just keep adding letters Y's all over. And then the Y's get tinier the further away you get from the tree. So where these Y's are big, the letter Y's this out here would be smaller because they're towards the end of the tree. They're branching off. All right, so that's kind of a sneaky way to do a tree that a friend of mine taught me, a very good art teacher from a long time ago. Sorry, I got a little bit over to the edge there. Let's add some fun stuff in our sky. I like to do a moon at night. And so for a moon, I do the letter C. A lot of letters in this lesson, huh? And then I do a smaller C inside of it for like a crescent moon. And the smaller C will need to touch that point and touch that point. So if you just draw a second C and it touches both points, you got yourself a great looking moon. And for stars, I know kids like to make stars perfect. I like stars that aren't perfect. Everybody has the thing that they like. And I like kind of fun, messy stars with lots of points that go all different directions. So that's how I think I'm going to do mine. So now I've got my spooky house that I drew with shapes. And I used mostly geometric shapes, didn't I? I used a lot of squares and rectangles and circles and things like that. If you want to try coloring it in, sometimes crayons show up really great when you're coloring on black paper, and sometimes not so great. So I just put a little bit of orange in there on that pumpkin, and it's okay. It's up to you if you want to color it in or if you want to leave it just as a black and white drawing. Oh, you know what I did forget though? I did want to put some stairs, which are just rectangles here, and my rectangles are going to get bigger from my pathway coming up to the house. So now you can come up to the house and maybe add a few little bushes outside the house. Maybe in this little bush a little scary thing is hiding behind it. Now I pop out and try to scare you. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, there we go. So if you want to choose to color it, you sure can. Let's see how my oil pastels work. Not too bad. I'm using a green. It looks kind of light. I'll leave that up to you guys if you want to add a little bit of color. But mostly we were just using our shapes to draw. So the things that we learned today about art is, remember, houses share walls, kind of like when we're doing our cityscapes, they share walls. We learned about our horizon line in the background is supposed to be behind what you're drawing, not right. You're not right here. This could be a nice little line for, grass or whatever you want it to be, but you need a horizon line behind like that. And we learned that when you're drawing something, more than one, and you're getting closer to your horizon line, that they have to get smaller. All right. Hope you had a good time drawing a spooky house with me today.